Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about something deeper than appearances, stronger than charm, and more lasting than youth, the true essence of a beautiful woman. A beautiful woman is not defined by the symmetry of her face, the shape of her body, or the style of her clothes. She is defined by the strength of her character, the depth of her compassion, and the light of her soul. In a world that constantly tells women how to look, a truly beautiful woman is the one who knows who she is. She doesn't chase validation. She radiates confidence that comes from within, a quiet confidence rooted in self-respect. Her presence brings peace, not drama. Her words uplift, not destroy. Her spirit is unshaken by opinions, because she walks in purpose, not popularity. A beautiful woman knows her worth. She doesn't beg for attention, approval, or love, because she understands that her value isn't determined by who notices her, but by how deeply she knows herself. She doesn't need to shout to be heard, or change to be accepted. Her confidence isn't loud. It's calm, quiet, and unshakable. She walks into rooms without seeking to compete, because she's already secure in who she is. She doesn't compare herself to others, or measure her life by someone else's timeline. She knows that her journey is her own, and she embraces it with both pride and patience. Even in relationships, she doesn't tolerate disrespect, or settle for less just to avoid being alone. She would rather wait for someone who sees her true value, than waste her energy proving it to someone who doesn't. She understands that self-worth is not arrogance. It's a form of self-respect. She sets boundaries, not because she's cold, but because she has standards. She doesn't chase love. She attracts it, not through desperation, but through authenticity. People are drawn to her, not because she demands attention, but because her presence carries peace and quiet power. She takes care of her mind, body and spirit, not to impress others, but because she honors herself. She celebrates her wins, learns from her failures, and never lets either one define her. She knows that knowing your worth is not about perfection. It's about wholeness. It's about standing tall even when you feel overlooked, about being kind to yourself when life isn't, and about knowing that no one else gets to decide how valuable you are. A woman who knows her worth doesn't need to prove it. She simply lives it. She uplifts others. A beautiful woman is not intimidated by the success, beauty, or confidence of another. She celebrates it. She does not engage in gossip, jealousy, or backhanded compliments, because she is secure in who she is. She knows that lifting someone else up doesn't bring her down. In fact, it strengthens the bond between women, inspires growth, and builds a culture of encouragement rather than competition. When she sees someone struggling, she offers support, not judgment. When someone wins, she applauds genuinely because she understands that another person's light doesn't dim her own. She knows the value of kind words and how a simple compliment or a sincere "I'm proud of you" can change someone's entire day. She empowers others through her example. She leads with love, not ego. Whether it's in the workplace, at home, or in friendships, she brings out the best in people by reminding them of their strength and potential. She doesn't see others as threats. She sees them as teammates. Her confidence is contagious. Her presence is calming, and her encouragement is rooted in truth. She doesn't flatter for gain. She speaks life into people because she truly cares. She becomes a mirror that reflects back the greatness others may have forgotten in themselves. Through her actions and her words, she leaves people better than she found them. She doesn't rise by stepping on others. She rises by lifting others with her. Her strength is quiet, but powerful. She doesn't need to shout her worth or announce her victories, because her life speaks louder than any words ever could. In moments of chaos, she remains calm. In times of stress, she becomes the anchor for those around her. She doesn't seek to dominate a room with noise. yet her presence is always felt. Her strength is not in how hard she can fight back, but in how gracefully she can stand firm. She chooses battles wisely, speaks with wisdom, and never wastes energy on proving herself to people who don't see her clearly. She understands that real power doesn't come from loud voices, but from inner peace, quiet resilience, and unwavering self-belief. She doesn't crumble when faced with adversity. She may cry, she may stumble, but she always gets back up. Her strength is found in her ability to carry herself with dignity, even when life tries to break her spirit. She listens more than she speaks, observes more than she reacts, and processes more than she projects. She doesn't need attention to feel strong. She needs alignment. Alignment with her values, her purpose and her vision. She knows that her energy is sacred, and she protects it fiercely. Her quiet strength is not weakness. It is the silent roar of a woman who has walked through storms and emerged with grace. She leads with kindness and grace even when it's difficult. A beautiful woman understands that the true test of character is not how she treats those who are kind to her, but how she responds to those who are not. She doesn't return rudeness with rudeness, and she doesn't let bitterness shape her behavior. Instead, she chooses kindness, not because she is weak, but because she is strong enough to rise above negativity. Her grace is not about pretending things don't hurt. It's about choosing not to let the hurt change who she is. She doesn't let the actions of others control her reactions. When she walks away, she does so with her dignity intact, refusing to engage in petty arguments or sink to lower levels just to make a point. Her kindness is thoughtful and intentional. She notices the small things, the person who feels left out, the one who needs encouragement, or the friend who hides their pain behind a smile. She offers a hand without expecting anything in return. Her gestures may be simple, a kind word, a warm smile, a gentle touch, but they are powerful because they come from a place of sincerity. She doesn't perform kindness to be seen. She lives it because it's who she is. She understands that everyone is fighting battles we can't see, and instead of judging, she offers empathy. Instead of criticizing, she extends understanding. Instead of controlling, she nurtures. Grace to her means carrying herself with elegance, even under pressure. It means forgiving not because someone deserves it, but because she refuses to carry the weight of resentment. It means staying calm when chaos surrounds her, not because she's unaffected, but because she's anchored. Her presence doesn't stir drama, it settles it. She doesn't have to be the loudest voice in the room to be the most respected. Her kindness is not selective. She extends it to the stranger, the friend, the enemy, and even to herself, because she knows that real beauty is not just about being soft on the outside, but about being strong and soft at the same time. Strong enough to stand tall, and soft enough to love, forgive and uplift. She embraces her flaws and still shines. A beautiful woman does not pretend to be perfect, nor does she allow her imperfections to define her worth. She understands that flaws are not failures, they are features of being human. She has scars, stories, and struggles, just like everyone else, but she wears them with pride, not shame. She knows that the most beautiful people are not those who hide their pain, but those who rise from it with wisdom and strength. Her past doesn't embarrass her, it empowers her. Her mistakes don't make her feel small, they remind her how far she's come and how deeply she's grown. Instead of chasing perfection, she chooses authenticity. She's not afraid to be real, to admit when she's wrong, to cry when she's hurting, or to ask for help when she needs it. She doesn't cover her insecurities with filters or fake smiles. She knows that true confidence comes from owning who she is, not from pretending to be someone she's not. People are drawn to her not because she has it all together, but because she's genuine. There's a quiet freedom in the way she lives, unburdened by the need to impress and unapologetic about being herself. She doesn't try to fit into molds created by others. She is her own standard. Her flaws are part of her beauty, and she embraces them fully. Whether it's the lines on her face that tell stories of laughter and tears, or the quiet insecurities that remind her of her journey, she accepts it all. She doesn't wait to be flawless to feel worthy. She shines right now, in her rawness, in her realness, in her vulnerability. And because she embraces herself with compassion, she extends that same grace to others. She doesn't judge harshly or expect perfection in return. She understands that we're all works in progress, all doing the best we can. Her ability to love herself, flaws and all, is what makes her glow with a light that cannot be dimmed. It's not her perfection that inspires others. It's her courage to be imperfect and still rise. Her faith and values guide her. A beautiful woman does not drift aimlessly through life, swayed by trends, opinions, or the expectations of others. She walks with intention, rooted in a strong sense of purpose that comes from her inner beliefs. Whether it's her faith in God, her deep connection to something greater than herself, or her unwavering moral compass, she lives by a set of values that ground her, even in chaos. She knows who she is and what she stands for, and because of that, she doesn't compromise her character to please people. Her decisions are not based on what is popular, but on what is right. Her convictions are not shallow. They are built on reflection, experience and truth. She carries a quiet strength that comes from knowing she is guided by something more enduring than circumstances. While others may panic in uncertainty, she finds peace in her principles. She is not perfect, but she strives to live with integrity. She does not just speak about honesty, kindness and humility. She practices them, especially when no one is watching. Her faith gives her patience when things don't go her way, courage when she feels afraid, and resilience when life gets hard. She prays when she's unsure, reflects when she's overwhelmed, and keeps moving forward even when the path isn't clear. There is a depth to her that cannot be explained by surface-level conversations, because her spirit is shaped by something eternal. She also respects the values of others, even when they differ from her own. Her strength doesn't make her arrogant, it makes her understanding. She listens more than she speaks, and she never forces her beliefs onto anyone. Instead, she lets her life be the message. Her faith teaches her grace, her values teach her compassion, and her consistency builds trust. People are drawn to her not just because of what she says, but because of how she lives. In a world where it's easy to lose yourself, she remains anchored, steady and clear, not because life is easy, but because her foundation is strong. Her beauty shines not just in how she looks, but in the way she reflects the goodness of her beliefs through every word, action and choice. She supports, not competes. A beautiful woman understands that true strength lies in unity, not rivalry. She doesn't see other women as threats, but as sisters, allies, and fellow warriors on their own unique journeys. She knows there is enough space for everyone to shine, and she never feels the need to dim someone else's light to make hers brighter. When she sees another woman succeeding, she doesn't feel jealous. She feels inspired. She applauds others' victories as if they were her own, because she genuinely believes that one woman's success opens the door for many others. She is secure in herself, and that security allows her to cheer, uplift, and stand beside others without comparison. She knows that competition breeds insecurity, but support breeds empowerment. In friendships, she is dependable and sincere, never using others' vulnerability as ammunition. In work or business, she is collaborative instead of territorial, generous instead of secretive. She shares knowledge, gives credit where it's due, and uplifts those who may not yet believe in their own potential. She leads by example, showing that real power comes not from being above others, but from walking with them. Her support is not performative. It is rooted in empathy, and it shows in the way she listens, encourages and protects the dreams of others. In a world where women are often pitted against each other, she chooses to be different. She refuses to participate in gossip or subtle sabotage. She doesn't tear others down to feel important, nor does she engage in silent competitions masked as friendships. She's too focused on her own growth to waste energy on envy. She builds bridges, not walls, and she fosters relationships that are based on trust, honesty, and mutual respect. She understands that empowered women empower women, and she takes that responsibility seriously. Her beauty is not just in her presence, but in the way she makes others feel stronger, more seen, and more valued when they're around her. She is proof that collaboration will always be more powerful than competition. She loves deeply but protects her peace. A beautiful woman has a heart that feels fully and loves without holding back. When she gives her love, whether to a partner, a friend, or family, she does so with sincerity, warmth, and depth. She listens with empathy, supports with devotion, and stands by the people she cares about with unwavering loyalty. Her love is not shallow or performative. It is consistent, thoughtful, and enduring. She knows how to make someone feel safe, understood, and cherished. People feel at home in her presence because she gives love that is free of manipulation or condition. Her affection is never about control. It's about connection. But even though she loves deeply, she also understands the importance of protecting her own emotional well-being. She has learned often through experience that not everyone who receives her love will know how to return it. She knows when to pour into others and when to step back and pour into herself. She doesn't confuse love with sacrifice that leads to self-abandonment. She has boundaries, not walls to keep people out, but gates to protect what she's built within. She is not afraid to walk away from relationships that drain her, disrespect her, or make her question her worth. Her peace is sacred, and she defends it with the same strength that she uses to give love. She no longer believes that loving someone means accepting pain as part of the package. She understands that real love should bring peace, not confusion. Joy, not anxiety. Safety, not fear. She doesn't chase love or beg for it, because she knows that the love meant for her will never require her to lose herself in the process. She surrounds herself with people who honor her presence, not take it for granted. And when she finds that her peace is being disturbed, she listens to that inner voice that tells her it's time to let go, not out of bitterness, but out of self-respect. She has learned that protecting her peace isn't selfish. It's necessary. It allows her to show up in the world with a full heart, instead of a wounded one. It allows her to keep giving love without losing herself in the process. And because she honors her peace, the love she gives is pure, strong, and healing. People who receive her love feel it deeply, because it comes from someone who truly knows how to love herself first. She grows through pain. A beautiful woman does not allow hardships to define her. She allows them to refine her. She doesn't run from pain, nor does she hide from it. She faces it, feels it, and allows it to shape her into someone wiser, stronger, and more compassionate. Life may have broken her heart, betrayed her trust, or challenged her strength, but instead of being crushed, she chose to rise. Her scars are not symbols of defeat. They are proof of her survival. Each one carries a lesson she refused to ignore. She does not pretend pain doesn't hurt. She simply chooses to use it as fuel for her transformation. She understands that pain is a part of growth, and growth often requires letting go. She lets go of the illusions, the expectations, the attachments that once kept her stuck. She walks away from what no longer serves her, even when it's difficult, because she values her evolution more than her comfort. She's learned that healing doesn't always come quickly, and it doesn't always come in silence. Sometimes healing means crying out loud, questioning everything, falling apart, only to gather the broken pieces with trembling hands and rebuild something stronger, something more authentic. Her pain has taught her empathy. Because she's been hurt, she knows how to hold space for others in their own pain. She doesn't judge people harshly, because she understands what it's like to be misunderstood, overlooked or abandoned. Her wounds have made her more human, not more bitter. She doesn't wear bitterness like armor. She wears grace. She doesn't use her pain to manipulate. She uses it to uplift. She turns her hardships into stories of encouragement, reminders to others that they too can overcome. She becomes a lighthouse for others because she's navigated dark waters herself. Through pain she discovers her strength. It shows her what she's capable of enduring, what she's willing to fight for, and who she truly is when everything else is stripped away. Pain teaches her patience. It slows her down so she can listen more deeply to herself. It reveals the resilience in her spirit, the depth of her soul, and the fire in her heart. And as she emerges from each chapter of struggle, she carries not only the wisdom of what she's learned, but the softness that pain could not take from her. She is beautiful not because life has been kind, but because she has chosen to be kind despite what life has done. She doesn't rise by stepping on others. She rises by lifting others with her. A beautiful woman understands that her success is not measured by how much she has, but by how much she gives. She knows that true greatness is not achieved by pulling others down, but by encouraging them to rise alongside her. She doesn't feel threatened by the accomplishments of others. She celebrates them. She doesn't see other women as competition, but as collaborators. She understands that there is enough room for everyone to succeed, and when one person wins, it opens doors for others to walk through as well. She recognizes the value in lifting others, whether it's through mentorship, encouragement, or simply offering a listening ear. She is not the type to hoard knowledge or opportunities. She believes in sharing what she knows so that everyone around her can grow and thrive. She understands that success is not a finite resource. The more people around her succeed, the more success flows into her own life. She is a believer in abundance, not scarcity. When she reaches a new level, she doesn't stay isolated at the top. She brings people with her, showing them the path, offering her support, and celebrating their victories as much as her own. She knows that the strength of a community is built on the collective growth of its members. She fosters collaboration, not competition. She doesn't pull rank, hold back information, or keep opportunities to herself. Instead, she empowers others to believe in their potential and helps them find the confidence to chase their dreams. She understands that the more she helps others grow, the more she grows too. The success of others does not diminish her own. It amplifies it. By lifting others, she creates a ripple effect that changes lives, strengthens bonds, and spreads positivity. Her kindness is a tool of empowerment. When someone feels stuck or unsure, she offers a gentle nudge of encouragement. When someone is discouraged, she reminds them of their strength. She is not threatened by another person's light. In fact, she helps them shine brighter. She believes in the power of community and knows that by lifting others, she also lifts herself. Her beauty lies not just in her appearance, but in the way she helps others see their own beauty and potential. She becomes a source of strength for others, offering her light and love freely, knowing that in giving, she is only multiplying the good in her life. She embraces change and adapts with grace. A beautiful woman knows that life is constantly evolving, and she doesn't resist change. She welcomes it. She understands that growth is impossible without transformation, and she is open to the lessons that come with each new chapter. Whether it's a shift in career, a change in personal circumstances, or a deepening of her understanding of herself, she moves through life with flexibility and resilience. She doesn't fear the unknown because she trusts in her ability to navigate it. Her strength lies not in her ability to remain the same, but in her capacity to adapt, learn and thrive through all the seasons of life. She isn't afraid to let go of the past when it no longer serves her. She knows that holding on to old habits, outdated beliefs, or toxic relationships can prevent her from stepping into the future she deserves. While she honors the lessons the past has taught her, she doesn't let it define her. She doesn't dwell on missed opportunities or mistakes. She learns from them and then moves forward with a renewed sense of purpose. She is not chained by what was but empowered by what is, and excited for what is yet to come. She allows herself the freedom to evolve, shedding old layers to make way for new growth, always with the understanding that every new beginning is a chance to rewrite her story. She embraces change with grace, because she knows that each moment of discomfort is an invitation to grow. Whether it's a difficult conversation, a new environment, or a challenge that seems insurmountable, she faces it with a calm determination. She trusts herself to handle whatever comes her way, believing that even in the hardest moments, there are lessons to be learned and strength to be gained. Change does not break her. It makes her stronger. She does not look at change as a threat, but as an opportunity to expand her horizons, test her limits, and grow into the next version of herself. She doesn't just adapt to change, she thrives in it. Her adaptability is not a weakness. It is a powerful tool that allows her to transform challenges into triumphs. She sees the potential in every shift, every change in direction. Where others might feel lost or defeated, she remains grounded in her values and steady in her belief that everything happens for a reason. She believes that the universe, or life itself, has a way of guiding her toward what's best for her, and so she leans into the unknown with trust and courage. Her ability to embrace change gives her a freedom that others may not yet understand. She is not confined by circumstances. She creates her own path, even when the road ahead is unclear. In her willingness to embrace change, she also teaches others the value of adaptability. She inspires those around her to release their fears, to let go of resistance, and to trust the journey. Her example shows them that it's not about avoiding change. It's about learning how to move with it, to let it shape you into something greater than you were before. She helps others see that transformation is not something to fear, but something to be celebrated. She shows them that through every shift, there is an opportunity to grow, evolve, and become the best version of themselves. And in this way, her beauty becomes not just an external force, but a deep transformative energy that touches everyone she meets. Through every trial, every joy, and every moment of growth, she remains a testament to the power of resilience, love, and grace. A beautiful woman is not defined by her external appearance or by the way the world perceives her, but by how she chooses to rise above her circumstances, embrace her imperfections, and use her experiences to shine brighter. She understands that true beauty comes from within, rooted in authenticity, kindness, and the strength to keep moving forward, no matter the challenges. She is a force of nature, a quiet strength that changes the world around her, one act of love and courage at a time. And in this beautiful journey of self-discovery and growth, she is both the masterpiece and the artist, crafting a life full of purpose, power, and grace.